Pakistan's National Assembly passed the 27th Constitutional Amendment Bill, which aims to introduce major judicial and military reforms. The bill now requires formal presidential approval before it becomes part of the constitution, a mere formality. The amendment will grant Pakistan's top military leaders lifetime immunity from criminal prosecution and allow five-star officers to retain their rank, privileges, and uniform for life. Through changes to Article 243 of the Constitution, the amendment will also make the Army Chief the Chief of Defense Forces, a new post that grants the office holder authority over the Army, Air Force, and Navy. The amendment will also create a federal constitutional court with government-appointed judges to hear constitutional disputes in place of the Supreme Court. The new court will be headed by its own Chief Justice. Critics argue that the amendment entrenches military power in the Constitution, grants the Army Chief control over all branches of the military, and further politicizes Pakistan's courts by centralizing government authority. The broad sweeping reforms indicate Pakistan's chief is ensuring things are in place for what's likely to be contentious new policy positions that will face major opposition. Amidst ongoing debates over how to expand the country's military, Germany's governing coalition agreed to revise the country's rules for military service, including by introducing a mandatory military fitness test for all 18-year-old males. The coalition government have been at odds over how to ensure that Germany's military reaches its promised numbers by 2035, but they have now agreed that all young adult males will have a mandatory physical examination to determine their suitability for military service. Military service of up to 11 months will remain voluntary as long as a sufficient number of people sign up. As the largest economy in Europe, Germany has committed to strengthening its military force to approximately 260,000 soldiers by 2035, in addition to 200,000 reservists, who will primarily be drawn from a pool of volunteers. With the U.S. increasingly focused on China, and Europe facing mounting security threats from Russia, Europe's NATO members have pledged to boost their militaries and increase defense spending. Germany is considered pivotal for that effort. Conscription could become mandatory if the military cannot attract enough volunteers. This week, Russian leader Vladimir Putin directed his defense and foreign ministries to draft proposals for resuming nuclear tests, something Moscow has not done since the Soviet era. This comes after U.S. President Trump announced that the U.S. should resume nuclear tests. Russia, like the U.S., maintains a full nuclear triad with a land-based, air, and sea element. The backbone of Russia's triad is up to 320 land-based intercontinental ballistic missiles that include hypersonic missiles. Russia also operates multiple classes of nuclear-armed ballistic missile submarines, alongside a heavy bomber fleet capable of delivering both gravity bombs and nuclear cruise missiles. Russia's nuclear forces did not escape the military decline of the post-Soviet years. Many of Russia's nuclear weapons and their delivery systems have exceeded their design life, with some estimates suggesting that increasingly obsolete capabilities form some 62% of the Russian strategic missile force. This is why Russia is investing in next-generation systems, such as hypersonic glide vehicles, nuclear-powered drones, advanced cruise missiles, and new classes of submarines. This all means Russia will need to conduct nuclear tests to ensure its nuclear program is fully functional.